A crackdown at a local strip club where a Padres player was stabbed just a few nights ago. The violations investigators found inside and the action they're taking against the club. Plus,
can you video me videoing you so you can tell your people? There we go.
a series of confrontations in the East County over a massive new housing development. Why both sides are saying the other is committing voter intimidation. And a pro wrestler dies of COVID-19, the legacy he leaves behind.
ABC 10 News at 6 starts now.
We begin with a coronavirus outbreak at Point Loma Nazarene University. The school reported 2 new positive cases on campus today, bringing the total to 14. Thank you for joining us. I'm Kimberly Hunt. Steve Atkinson is off tonight. ABC 10 News reporter Jennifer De La Cruz explains why a local expert says he's not surprised by the spike.
We will be deploying a surge testing capability to the campus tomorrow to test the remaining number of students who need to be tested.
Point Loma Nazarene University is one of the county's newest hotbeds for COVID-19. New cases have been traced back to 4 residence halls, which are now being monitored closely. As of Wednesday morning, the school is reporting a total of 19 active cases, 14 of which are on campus. 66 students are in isolation. The school has had 29 positive cases since August 1st, with a positivity rate of just over 1%. The school made the announcement to students in a memo sent out Tuesday. They say the students who tested positive have been moved from their dorms to other university housing for isolation. Students who live on the same floors as those positive cases are being told to shelter in place. Dr. David Pride with UCSD Immunology says he's not surprised.
We know how contagious this disease is. Those clusters are going to happen, not just at Point Loma, but at just about any other university as well.
The clusters come on the heels of an outbreak at San Diego State, with more than 1,100 cases reported since the end of August. He says because younger people aren't in the high-risk categories, they may be letting their guards down.
They're a group that's much more likely to take chances than the older population. And that's in part why we're sort of seeing a surge in coronavirus really across the country, because we're sending kids back to school.
And he doesn't see it going away anytime soon.
So many of us believe that we're going to continue to sort of be in this COVID pandemic, at least through next summer, maybe through all of 2021. Whether or not there is a vaccine.
Jennifer De La Cruz, ABC 10 News.
There will be testing at the impacted dorms tomorrow. Just in, ABC 10 News has just confirmed the strip club where Padres player Tommy Pham was stabbed this week in the parking lot has been ordered to stop its live entertainment. We obtained a cease and desist order that the county delivered today to Pacers in the Midway District. While the club is allowed to serve food under the COVID health orders, entertainment such as exotic dancing is prohibited. A look at Pacers' social media accounts makes it clear they've been allowing stripping in violation of those orders. And that was confirmed when San Diego police went to investigate. The county says Pacers could be fined $1,000 for each violation if they refuse to stop. Here are the latest coronavirus numbers for San Diego County. 303 new cases were reported today. That brings the total to 51,327. 4 more people have died. 844 San Diegans have now lost their lives due to COVID-19. San Diego County will be reinvesting millions of dollars to help those impacted the most by the pandemic, and this will come from unspent CARES Act funding. It will go toward continuing testing, tracing, and treatment efforts, rental assistance for behavioral health patients, support for youth and child welfare systems, economic stimulus grants for small businesses, emergency rental assistance for programs for low-income families, food banks, and Meals for the Great Plates program.
We know these are tough times. This will help people and businesses that are struggling to cope with the economic fallout from the pandemic.
County leaders also urge San Diegans to get their flu shots. You can call 211 to find out where you can get a free flu shot. And now to ABC 10 News Pinpoint Weather. We are right in the middle of a heat wave. Here is a live look from our sky camera at the La Jolla shores, where some people have gone now to escape the heat. Meteorologist Angelica Campos is joining us. Angelica, we still have a ways to go before we get all the way to a point of relief where everyone is comfortable.
That is true, Kim, which means we have to just kind of embrace it a little bit and try to do our best to handle the next couple of days. The temperatures today broke records. In Campo, 100 degrees, breaking the record of 95. Poway tied the record of 95 degrees. And some of the hottest temperatures today in the county, Rancho San Diego, made it to 102 degrees, 98 in Santee. So we're still under a heat advisory. Temperatures will remain way above the average. We're talking 10, 15, close to 20 degrees above the normal, even though we've seen a bit of a drop in temperatures since yesterday. Even at this hour, still around 91 degrees in Escondido and 88 in Poway. Coming up in your 7-day forecast, I'll show you what it's going to feel like tomorrow and how we compare to the average temperature for this time of the year.
We'll check back in with you then. And it took weeks, but fire crews finally have the Zogg fire in Northern California fully contained. CAL FIRE says crews will continue to patrol the area in Shasta County to ensure nothing flares up again. The Zogg fire sparked late last month. 4 people died. More than 50,000 acres burned. There is damage to dozens of buildings as well. It's suspected the fire was caused by PG&E utility equipment. So far this year, fires have scorched a record amount of land in California, more than 4 million acres. And a disturbing discovery: a man was out walking dogs last week in City Heights when he says he found several mail ballots and voter guides strewn across the street. He was shocked, wasn't sure what to do.
I would have picked them all up and everything and then taken them to the post office, but, I'm thinking about the dogs and, that just wasn't running through my mind at that moment.
And now he's reporting what he found to the Registrar of Voters. We also reached out to the registrar on ABC 10 News at 7 o'clock, what they plan to do about this problem and what voters can do to protect their ballots from a similar fate.
Come on, guys. Do you guys want to say something?
New at 6 o'clock, a Santee councilman confronting a group that he says is intimidating Santee residents trying to protect their city. The fight is over a project calling for roughly 3,000 new homes. ABC 10 News reporter John Horn shows why each side is accusing the other of unethical tactics.
Janet Garvin is spending some of her free time holding up signs in hopes of getting people to sign.
We've done it before, we can do it again.
She's fighting a project called Finita Ranch. It calls for about 3,000 new homes, 80,000 square feet of retail, a school, a farm, and trails on the north end of the city. Last month, the Santee City Council voted 4-1 to give it the green light.
We're for reasonable growth and in the right places, in the right locations, not in an extreme fire hazard location.
Garvin's group has until Election Day to gather 3,500 signatures to force a public vote. But gathering those signatures has become uncomfortable.
Come on, guys. Do you guys want to say something?
Santee Councilman Stephen Houlihan shot this video. He says the people in this clip are intimidating gatherers and potential signers.
It seemed like a very, very strong coincidence that there was 2 women volunteering here and they were surrounded by 3 men in a very intimidating posture.
Developer Jeff O'Connor of HomeFed is quick to fire back. He says HomeFed hired them to correct what he calls misinformation he says the signature gatherers are saying about the project, namely over taxes and traffic improvements.
They're being professional, they're getting the facts out, they're being courteous. The other side is actually doing almost the opposite.
O'Connor says HomeFed believes Finita Ranch would pass a public vote. John Horn, ABC 10 News.
And if the project moves forward as scheduled, the first homes could be ready for move-in by mid-2022. Prices would start in the 400,000s. The Supreme Court's decision yesterday to end this year's census count means that several San Diego neighborhoods will be severely underrepresented. Well, they could now get less federal money for schools, hospitals, and other issues. This is a list of the areas with the lowest number of people who filled out the census. A neighborhood in Northwest Oceanside had just 27% response. Mission Beach was the next lowest at 32%, followed by College West and Borrego Springs. By contrast, a portion of Rancho Penasquitos had the highest response at 91%. Rancho Bernardo, Carmel Valley, Carlsbad, and Sabre Springs all topped 90% as well. New developments in the battle about oversight in the city of San Diego. The city auditor wants to hire its own independent attorney to help with its duties investigating actions taken by the city. The request came after the city attorney refused to hand over documents related to the controversial purchase of a downtown high-rise that has been unusable for 3 years now. The city attorney says only a citywide vote would allow the auditor to hire an attorney, but the auditor disagrees and today sent a letter asking the city council to approve the move instead. We'll let you know what the council decides.